three-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness partners.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Raising little ones is a big job, and you do your best to give them a good start every day. That means making sure they're well cared for while you're apart. You work hard, but it's not always easy to make ends meet. There may be help. Find out if you qualify for Nebraska's Child Care Tax Credit for working parents. You could be eligible for a credit of up to $2,000 per child on your next tax return. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
A Shiro's work is never done. You care for the house, the kids, and our future. We're so grateful for all you do. Now it's time to care for yourself and save a little more for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to boost your retirement savings now. Visit aceyourretirement.org/Shiro today.
A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Did you know that AmeriCorps programs improve lives, strengthen communities, and foster civic engagement in Nebraska? For example, AmeriCorps members serving with Conservation Nebraska provide valuable environmental education and practical tips people can use to maintain Nebraska's natural beauty and live more sustainable lives. Discover more about AmeriCorps programs making a difference in your community at serve.nebraska.gov. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth. 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the 93.7 The Ticket studio. From the heart of Lincoln, America. This is What's Next 24. With the authors of Next 24, Michael Worrell and Sherry Tills.
All right, welcome in. What's Next 24? Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. As always, we got the host, Mike and Sherry, as well as a great guest in the studio. If you guys want to join in, the Starter Heyman text line is always 402-464-5685. You can put a face to the voice, Facebook, YouTube, X, Allo, channel 961 as well. With that being out of the way, I'll throw it over to the host, Mike and Sherry.
Good morning. Good morning, Harrison. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning.
You're tuned into What's Next with Mike and Sherry on 93.7 The Ticket FM. We're here every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. as we share stories that inspire, motivate, and offer a helping hand. Our show brings diverse voices and perspectives to the forefront, exploring the next steps in personal growth and community building. Whether you're looking for a boost to start your week or a reminder of the goodness in the world, and there is goodness in the world, people. What's Next 24 is here to support you on your journey. So we're going to go ahead and take that next step. And I just want to say thank you, God, for the warmer weather. This has
Well,
been a
thank you very
very
much.
rough week.
Well, very good. I get the honor today to introduce our special guest. We are honored to welcome to What's Next Tom Barber from the CEO of the People's City Mission of Lincoln. I want to say I know that under Tom's visionary leadership, the mission has become a beacon of hope and countless individuals in need, providing shelter, support, and a path to a better future. With the background in business and ministry, Tom has dedicated his life to serving others and to making a positive impact. We're so glad to have Tom on the show. Good morning, Tom. How are you today?
Doing great. Thanks.
Well, we appreciate it so much. And before we begin, I also want to thank JC Massey. If you're listening, JC was the person behind it, able to get us in connection with Tom. Tom, we're just, again, so honored. I've seen you for years. This is just a blessing to have you on the show regarding the City Mission. And I know a lot of people know about you at the City Mission, but if you don't mind, I'd like to jump in quick. Let's start with your early years. Tell us about Tom Barber.
Oh, hopefully my wife's not listening. But, well, I grew up in Burbank, California. I was born in 1952. My dad left us when I was 5. He was an alcoholic. And my mom worked for 28 years at Disney Studios. And she was just a PBX operator she would plug on roller skates, would plug into those various things, if you remember that. And she didn't make a lot of money, so she'd iron clothes at night, but she got us through. I guess we were poor, although I really never knew it. But I grew up there in Burbank, went to Burbank High School. My senior year, I traveled with a group that people over 50 will probably know. It was called Up With People.
Oh, my goodness.
And so I was with the national cast of Up With People and graduated from Up With People High School. See, there's my Up With People High School ring.
Oh, my goodness. They used to come to my high school.
Yeah.
In Omaha.
Yeah, we traveled all over, and it was quite an experience. We had kids from different countries, and so I graduated from Up With High School in 1970. Then I got involved in what was called the Jesus movement back there. It was in California, and was heavily involved, baptized by Pat Boone. Again, people over 50 probably know who he is. But,
yes.
And then I got a full ride scholarship to Pepperdine University. We started on the LA campus. We were the Malibu pilot program. We were actually the first class into Pepperdine, Malibu. They had an LA campus there. And so I got into that, got an undergraduate degree from Pepperdine in philosophy. During that time, I had originally been a student for the ministry, but got to this college and I decided that I just didn't want to go into ministry. Part of it, to be honest with you, I didn't want to be poor. And I don't want to do ministry. I want to go into something else. And so went into business. Started working for a couple companies, ended up at a company called TRW. It was a Fortune 20 company, and it was involved in industrial products. Our particular section was in the oil patch. It was called the Energy Products Group. Worked for a really renowned person named General Sam Phillips. He was the guy they actually brought in to the Apollo program to get it going. And then he retired from that. He ran, I think, he ran the NSA and maybe a good part of SAC Air Command, retired and went into a business area of TRW. That's what happened with a lot of these defense contractors. They hire these ex-generals, but they can't work in defense, so they put them in another section. But I got to work for Sam for 6-7 years there at TRW in acquisitions, strategic planning. It was really, for me, kind of a Camelot in business just because of the people he had gathered around him. It was a wonderful experience. From there, I went on to run a couple of companies. And then in 1992, I was running a $25 million company in Kentucky, an industrial product company, and had this strong sense to go back into ministry, which I didn't really want to do. I was actually not excited about it, but to be honest with you, I didn't do it because I was noble. I was just fearful I was going to end up in a whale somewhere if I didn't do it. So I reluctantly gave up a 6,000 square foot house. I had a Saab 900 turbo convertible. It was a wonderful time. And took an 85% pay cut and became a pastor on staff at Christ Place Church here in Lincoln, Nebraska. And so that was in 92. And I was there for 7 years, adult ministries pastor. During that time, we got a college ministry going that grew to about 80 kids. They wanted to go on campus. So I left Christ Place to take him on campus. We used to park at the Universal Lutheran Chapel there on 16th and Q. They let us have a section of the church there to do it. Didn't want to panhandle churches, which is what often people do in sort of missions, in college missions. They'll go around churches and ask for $25. I really didn't want to do that. So I applied and got accepted into the doctoral program in marketing because I knew a lot about marketing from business. Went through the classwork there, got to the dissertation. Problem is that it's a research university. I really didn't, research wasn't my thing. I've served on their advisory board now for 21 years since I've been at the mission, but didn't really want to go down the path of being a research professor. So was looking for something to do. The mission was available. I really didn't go there with the sense I'd be there very long. But they had the person who was the VP of operations. They had just had their executive director leave. He was my small group leader at Christ Place. So there was the connection. I interviewed, got accepted, went there in 2004. Mission was about $1.5 million. It was a very small mission. They pretty conservative on how they would do their operations. They'd make people go to chapel every night. They were pretty tough in how they kind of operated. Didn't like it. Changed the entire culture. Threw all that out, and basically we began to just share, what was going on. What I realized really quick on was we needed to grow for sure. Today we have 430 people at the mission, and we'll talk a little bit later about it, but we have one bed for every 993 people. Open Door, for instance, or you look up at Omaha, they have one for every 244. And every city around us is 200 to 400 citizens per bed. We're at 983, I think it is. So, and that's today. Back when I first started, we were at 10% of everybody else. And so we needed to grow the mission. Problem is they were focused mainly on just getting churches together once a year, and they weren't getting very much money in that process. And the grants, human services tends to be progressive, and they were ultra conservative, and they just weren't getting grants. And I realized the chances of the mission getting grants was slim and zero, in Lincoln. And it did have something going for it, though. It had a tremendous brand. People knew the mission, and we had a foundation with about $4 million in it. So I just started using that foundation and started advertising and marketing the mission as a way to grow it, and it worked. And today we're a little over $20 million, and we have about 33,000 households supporting us. But that all came from just using kind of marketing and kind of letting people know that we were there. And we changed the culture. I made the mission a lot more friendly, so we do have a church with maybe 100 people in it, but everything's voluntary. If you're an atheist, we'll be quiet. If you're another religion, we'll tie you to that. We try to treat everybody with respect and dignity. And then want to know about Jesus, we're excited to tell you. And so it's been a different, more softer approach to evangelism. We are a Christian 501c3 organization, but anybody can come to the mission and feel comfortable.
Let me backtrack. I'm sorry, Mike. I want to backtrack a little bit.
Yeah.
You said that you grew up in Burbank.
Yep.
And being in your general, and that's where I'm going to put it, your general age group.
Yeah.
That was
you look so much younger than I do. I can't believe that.
You are my new best friend today. But those times were a little heady, so to speak. Lots of hippies, a lot of the radical movements, basically sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Yep.
How did you maneuver with your faith and looking at getting into the ministry during those times?
Sure. Well, I had a lot of friends that were in what you call the hippie movement. And it was more diverse than people know. Not everybody was just taking drugs and that. A lot of it was tied around the Vietnam War and sort of a protest to it. For instance, I was in the draft in 1970. I had a high number, so I didn't have to go, but some of my friends did. And I think it was a conglomeration of a lot of different kinds of people. At Pepperdine, we had people, that would certainly be identified with being in the hippie movement. And believe it or not, we all got along pretty good. We had differing views, but back then in the 60s, it was just, I guess it was just a different time.
Yes, it really truly was. And I guess specifically, I mean, you thought about ministry, but you went into business, and then you were in business and you were incredibly successful, basically making really good money, living a
It
good
was.
life. What what was that? How did that tap on the shoulder from God come to you? How did you all of a sudden go, this isn't for me? I really believe that I'm being called a different direction. Because people don't just wake up in the morning and go, okay, this is what I'm going to do.
Right. No, it was certainly not that. Well, on air, how vulnerable do I want to be? Let's see. It was a strong feeling. My wife had the same feeling. I didn't want, in fact, I'll be a little vulnerable. I was so mad at this feeling. I actually picked up a rock cherry and threw it at God. How's that?
I get it.
That's how I felt about it.
And I get it. I've done that.
I had no interest in leaving my beautiful home and my sob. I still think about my sob. I had no interest in doing any of that. I was a yuppie from California. I didn't really want to go into ministry. That wasn't my thing. But I felt a very strong calling. And over the years, I had developed a very strong fear of the Lord. Um, I think at that point in my life, I was devoted, but maybe not as devoted as I had been. But I still had a very strong sense of who God was. And I wasn't about to say no when I really felt it strongly. And my wife felt the same way. And so it was a course of really a couple months before I finally pulled the plug and did it. It was not a quick, hey, I'm out of here.
God and when you're debating back and forth like that, isn't it funny how God usually sends confirmation, probably through your wife, where it's like, okay, she's getting it too. All right, God, I get this.
Yeah, no, it was one of those things. And looking back on it, I'm so glad I made that decision. I could have been potentially running larger companies, but since I've been at the mission, the people at the mission and I have been able to help over 500,000 folks with food and shelter.
Yeah.
And at 73, when I look back at my career now, that feels so much more rewarding than having a big house and some money in the bank account. I really am glad I made that decision.
Absolutely.
Tom, could I ask, because I understand that change and that moment of conflict and so forth. How, if you reflect back, how has it changed you?
Yeah, well, one thing is I think coming to Christ's place and being a pastor, that really helped develop a pastoral part of me, so that Pastor Tom now, which everyone knows, it's really not a marketing gimmick, it's for real, because I really am pastoral. That was not true if I would have come from business into the mission. It took those roughly 13 years of being in ministry to develop really a pastoral sense of my identity. It was a big change.
Would you call it? I mean, I always call it servant leadership.
Yeah, it is, but it's the sense of shepherding. It's the sense of feeling that about people, which I can tell you, up until I went into ministry, I was more of a typical CEO, and I didn't feel any of that.
But isn't it amazing, though, you the natural talents that I think you have, all of your positions? You said you went into accounting and leadership, and of course, you had the burden of a lot of responsibility. So you were probably prepared for this at the right time, at the right moment, to come to the city mission. In my opinion, would you agree with that?
Yeah, the mission is a parachurch organization. It has obviously religious aspects to it, but in some ways it's more like a business in the sense of goods and services, because we have to operate.
Yes.
Just like a business would operate something. And so there's a lot of that in a religious setting. So it really is kind of a strange conglomerate of stuff.
Plus, in the business world, at 5:00, you leave and you leave it there. But with what you do, it is probably a 24/7 constant.
It is.
Career, so to speak.
Oh, you're on like a doctor 24/7. Things happen all the time at the mission. I'm day and night. I can get called to be down there for something.
Well, especially weeks like last week.
Yeah.
Tom, reflecting back, did you have any? Who did you follow? Who were your mentors? Did you have any specific mentors that helped you along the way?
Yeah, I had a local pastor named Joe Nunziata who was really a mentor to me. I think while I was in college, I had a couple of great professors who really, I think were very close and helped me a lot in developing. Certainly, General Sam Phillips was a mentor of sorts. I was a couple steps removed from him, so it's not like I saw him all the time. But he had some people in there that were um, really just bright lights, and I was able to work with them very closely. And being in my 20s and just working around Sam, his right-hand guy, General Bill Dunn, is who I worked directly with. He was a retired one-star general with a PhD in nuclear physics. Harold Hirsch had developed Space Park there in LA and was in his 60s. And Van Skilling, the marketing director, went on to be the president of TRW. And so there was just a lot of very bright people there. And just getting a chance in my 20s just to sit there and be around those guys made a world of difference to me.
When you came to the mission, you made that commitment, and you get to the mission. How did you create the business plan?
Well,
did you do? In other words, did you do it yourself or do it with a group of people? Did you do it with a team? I'm curious to learn how this all originally decided to put it together.
Well, the team I had there weren't that business savvy. I did it with a team in the sense that I took them through the planning process, and so we developed it together.
Mm-hmm.
But I was sort of the spearhead of it because a lot of the principles they didn't quite understand.
Mm-hmm.
So it took some time to sort of show them how it worked and why planning was important. And but we always did a team. In fact, the success of the mission has always been the people there. I have some phenomenal people, and especially today as we've grown and I've been able to hire really, really great people. I often tell people, I'm too ugly to be called the eye candy. I'm the ice candy, but they really are the reason why the mission's successful. I have just some tremendous people putting incredible hours, and they do it without great pay. We pay them pretty well, but not near as much as they could probably get somewhere else. So, I'm very proud of them.
Absolutely. Tell me, and it's funny to joke about that. I joked about Sherry the other day that I've got a face for radio.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah, but
that wasn't exactly how you said it,
I said
Michael.
a little bit. I'm just teasing. But I'm so fascinated, Pastor, because I don't believe without you, without your leadership, without your vision, the mission would be what it is today. So I'm just so proud of what you've done and what you mean to the city of Lincoln. Was it a culture shock to come to Lincoln from California?
Maybe a little.
Yeah, I imagine so. A little, much more conservative in their ideas or thinking. Was that a was that a challenge for you?
Yeah, no, it wasn't really that the conservativeness, because I had moved around in business a little bit in various cities before I came here. I think Lincoln was different, and actually it wasn't that conservative. Lincoln's actually pretty liberal, and it's as a city itself, but progressive. But I think for me, the shock was just being in big cities. This really is a little city, and people know each other, and that wasn't true where I come from. Your anonymity was absolute anywhere else. And here, it didn't take long before people knew you. So if you yelled at them when they pulled in front of you and said they knew who you were, I wasn't ready for that. It was a very different kind of thing where everybody kind of knew everybody.
Oh, absolutely. Tom, before we jump directly into the mission itself right now, from your expertise, would you share, it seems like there's a crisis in not only here in Lincoln or Omaha or in this country, is this problem of homelessness. Now, maybe it's the way it's projected on TV, but it seems to be a major crisis. How do you view this?
Well, homelessness is a major crisis. It's a major crisis all over the country. And one of the parts of the crisis is people really don't understand what it is. There's still a lot of stereotypes. Transient guys, everyone's an alcoholic, nobody wants to work. We have stereotypes in our mind because we see people panhandling and we think that's who the homeless are. Actually, that's not. The crisis homeless is actually the biggest group growing. I think right now, 35% of all the homeless around the country are kids, probably half by 2035. Just take domestic abuse as one of many reasons that people are homeless. According to Nebraska Domestic Violence Association, 1 in 3 women in Nebraska are being abused, and 1 in 4 guys.
Yes, and they can't get out. They have
Yeah.
nowhere to turn.
Right. They have to couch surf or stay with family or friends. And so people, for those listening to understand, chronically homeless people are people that are in and out of shelters a lot. They have some major issues, and they're always in shelters as a general rule of thumb. The crisis homeless are people that are in a shelter one time, and then you don't see them again. Might be a loss of a job, might be domestic abuse, might be they got into evictions, divorce sometimes throws somebody into a shelter for a short time. But the crisis homeless are actually the largest population of homeless people, and that population is growing, especially in suburban cities like Lincoln. If you go to LA where I grew up, certainly a lot more of the chronically homeless go there. I mean, if you're a chronically homeless guy, why would you come to Lincoln, Nebraska? You know our weather. Be honest, our panhandling is not good unless you get around the kids downtown. San Francisco, for instance, they give you cell phones. I don't give everybody a cell phone. You get better services in other cities. And so if I was a homeless guy that was a transient, I'd head for Florida. Wouldn't you? California, better services, better weather, better panhandling. Why are you coming to Lincoln?
Right.
And so we're not a draw for the chronically homeless. That's not our big issue, and I don't think will be for at least the next 20 years. Our big issue is the growing crisis homeless population.
Especially with the economy the way it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you made a very good point when I talked to you on the phone the other day, because I think there is some misconceptions. As in my past, I did drive for StarTran as a city bus, so I would do the route and drop a lot of people off to the city mission. It isn't just the chronic homeless. I was surprised too. When I have met people that maybe they, like you said, they maybe have lost a job, domestic issue. There's a number. I think there's a lot of different things we do not think about, and the public needs to be educated in that area and so forth. It seems like, though, I noticed, is there a major trend? It seems more. Well, I mean, I see a lot of anger. Has it always been this way? I just see a lot of anger. Violence, but just with
among the homeless,
among the homeless in general. I'm just things that I observed was some anger, alcoholism on the streets, resisting to come to the shelter. They'll sleep outside. And I know that's a major concern during this winter times.
Sure. Yeah. If you look at the chronically homeless, part of the problem they have is, generally they'll have some issue like, let's say, alcoholism. And alcoholics. And so the problem with like the mission, we're not what we call a low barrier shelter. Low barrier shelters were started in California, and they basically just allow you to come in regardless and bring whatever you want. The mission, we can't do that because we have over 400 people there, including kids. And so we have to have some rules. And our rules are, you can be an alcoholic or a drug addict and come with us, and you'd even become inebriated and come to us or be high. But you can't bring booze on property. You can't bring drugs on property. You can't fight. There's some rules you've got to obey, because if you don't, you can't keep order in a large shelter. But some of these lower barrier shelters, they can just come in and, do what they want. Many of the guys that are on the camps, my guess, even a low barrier shelter, they wouldn't come into unless they needed to. They like that independence. Maybe they have a mental health problem like schizophrenia. They want to be around people. There's any number of reasons that they don't come. But I think the frustration and the anger you're seeing is that, they don't see their lives turning. You know what? When I first came to the mission, to give you an example of this, I was shocked to find that the government will help you. Back then in 2004, it was mainly just Section 8 housing. And so you could get Section 8 housing if you were homeless. So if you were a woman or a child, you could get that in 3 or 4 months. You come to the mission, stay there, and you get your housing voucher, and you'd move. If you were a guy, it was 2 years. So, Mike, let's say you're underneath the bridge, and you're an alcoholic, and you want to turn your life around, and you don't have family or friends. How are you going to do that? You come to the mission, you're going to spend a couple months here. You're not going to sober up and get a job in 2 months and get better. And so the truth is, there's just no way out. And a lot of times they're just, what we call services to help people, they're really not there. Now, in recent years, we started to improve that, and we're starting to do more to help some of these chronically homeless guys. But back then, There was like no way out. And
Tom, I need to stop you there. We need to take a quick break, but we'll come back and finish that, and then we'll pivot to the history of the city mission. We'll be back in just a moment.
You bet. Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People's City Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Patriot Plumbing at 402-464-7411 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-464-7411.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now. In our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Attention! For the entire month of February, Acres has John Deere packaged oil and filters for 15% off. John Deere engineers its oil filters specifically for large ag equipment and commercial and residential mowers. With premium materials, these filters meet the unique demands of your farm and acreage. Following a strict maintenance routine with premium John Deere oil and filters ensures your equipment will run efficiently for years. Visit your local Acres store to start shopping today.
What's going on, fans? This is Lexi Rodriguez, four-time All-American at Nebraska and now proud member of Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League One Volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players, and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering us on in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha Volleyball in action this season. Go Big Green!
If you're looking for a pre-owned tractor to upgrade your operation this year, you'll find a wide selection at your local Landmark Implement. We'll work with you to find the right equipment for all your needs at a price that's right for you. All backed by Landmark's extensive parts and service network. During the month of February, take advantage of a 24-month waiver on select 6, 7, 8, or 9 series tractors. Visit landmarkimp.com to see our complete inventory or stop by your local Landmark location today and experience the Landmark difference.
Why are some people more successful? Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships. One with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading fraternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America. Touching lives, securing futures.
Psst. You know what's better than waking up early to go to the airport? Sleeping in. Lucky for you, the lines at the Lincoln Airport are so short and our service is so fast. You won't need to sacrifice precious beauty sleep to get here hours before your flight. So, go ahead, sleep in. You deserve it, and choose the airport that helps you relax. LNK, make flying easy.
Midwest Bank is proud to be your local community bank right here in Lincoln. This is Abby with Midwest Bank. Stop by our new location at 70th and Pioneers. Our new full-service branch does it all. From our friendly staff to our easy online banking and mobile app, you get all the technology of a big bank that you need, but you still get the hometown customer service that you want. Your community, your bank. Midwest Bank. Learn more at midwest.bank. Member FDIC.
Hey, it's Chad with Nutrition Authority inviting you to stop in and check out the #1 selling complete post-workout product, CPR. CPR is ideal for anyone who works out, exercises, or competes and wants to maximize results. CPR can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today, try a free sample, or visit us at mynutritionauthority.com.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Back to What's Next 24 from the 93.7 The Ticket studio with the authors of Next 24, Michael Worrell and Sherry Tills.
All right, welcome back in segment number 2. What's Next 24? We got Mike and Sherry as well as the guest, Pastor Tom, CEO of Lincoln City Mission. Got about 15 minutes here, segment number 2. I'll throw it over to the host.
All right. Well, thank you, Harrison. I'm with Tom Barber, the CEO of the People's City Mission of Lincoln. His journey is really quite fascinating. I want to jump into the next section of the history of the City Mission. People may not know, the People's City Mission was founded in 1907 by local churches to provide food and shelter for the transients and impoverished men, women, and children. Over the years, it has grown to become Lincoln's primary homeless shelter, housing, and tell me, Tom, if I'm not mistaken, housing an average of 350 men, women, and children daily. You've had that wonderful history. Tell us about the services today that's provided at the City Mission.
Sure. Well, we have a men's shelter, which guys can come to for a period of time. Usually there's sort of 2 ways to come. One, if you really don't want to work on anything, you're just looking at a place to hang, it's 30 days and then you have to leave. If you come and you really want to try to get help, maybe with some issue you have, you can stay 3 or 4 months. And then we also have a Curtis Center, which is a transitional housing program for guys. And there's where if guys really want to, take some time and really work on it for a couple of years, they can come to our transitional housing program. We also have a thing called Breakout for men, which is a 6-month drug rehabilitation program. They can actually hang and go part of that. On the family side, usually women will come in for 2 to 3 months or so until they get their Section 8 housing or permanent supportive housing or whatever they're doing. Some of them don't need that at all. Some just need a place to go. There is a growing percentage of people that really don't need further help than just the mission. That's a growing segment, but a lot of them do. And so we try to make sure we connect them to services there. During that time, we have different things we do. We help them get driver's license. We help them get different kinds of services they might need, like connect them to other agencies in the city. And we ask really 2 issues when someone comes in, or 2 questions, I should say, to folks when they come. One is, how do we get you your permanent place to stay? How do we get you into real housing? And the second question we ask is, why are you here? What's the issue? And do we have something here, or do we have agencies we connect you to help you with those problems? Now, we do have caseworkers at the mission. We do some casework, but largely we try to make sure we're kind of that initial safety net for people. So when they come, they've got a place to start and sort of go from there to connect to other programs that are in the city.
Tom, share a little bit, because you also, I watched the video on the City Mission. You also have a free medical clinic.
Yeah, we do. We basically do dental now. Back in 2008, 2009, we were a full-service medical clinic. We were actually, by volunteers in medicine, we were the 3rd largest free clinic in the country. We were getting 16,000 patient visits. And what was interesting was we were charging people nothing to come, and we were taking no grants or anything. It was all volunteer.
Were you getting like medication donations, supply donations?
Back then we were, yes. Yeah, we were getting all kinds of free stuff, and we were helping out folks. But what happened was we were paying for a nurse practitioner and a few other services, and And with the homeless count growing, we just couldn't afford to keep it going.
Right.
So we had to pull back to just dental.
Mhm.
So we're doing that now. But our hope is this year sometime we're going to try to start it up again a couple days a week to a full service clinic and try to grow it, and maybe in 2026 have it back again going full service.
Tom, what's the challenge today? Is I understand, I understand it's overcrowding right now that you're having at the mission, and that's been ongoing for some time.
Yeah, we were built for 250, 280s. Probably in the last 5, 6 years at least, we've been in the 300s. But recently, we've jumped over 400. Last night or last couple nights, we've been at 430, or maybe it's even more now. People staying with us, which is just a lot of folks for us.
And you'll be expanding now. Talk about the expansion. This is an exciting moment.
Yeah, we're trying to build a further capacity. We absolutely need it. Like I was sharing, I think earlier on. We have one shelter bed for every 983 people in Lincoln. Omaha has one shelter bed for every 242. We pulled Orlando, Madison, various cities our size, and it runs from 200 to 400 people per bed. So we're way behind everybody else in the country in terms of shelter capacity, and we need a lot more shelter. And so we are hoping to build a women's center. We could actually fill 70% of it right now with our numbers.
That was going to be my next question.
70% full right now. Probably if we do get it built in a couple of years, we'll have it, I'm sure, around 75% or so full, just when we cut the ribbon. But we have people there for all sorts of reasons, and we're hoping to get the women's center up and going here the next couple of years, and then we would turn the current shelter all into a men's shelter. And that would give us the capacity to get to 600 people or so. But like I said, we're at 430 now, so 600 isn't that far away.
Tom, what's the mission need right now? How can the people best serve the mission as a community?
I tell people, everybody can do something, whether it's the mission or another group too, because nonprofits don't need money; they need resources. Resources come in the form of your time, volunteering. Things in your closet you don't need. Recently, we did a Facebook post needing cereal, and we've gotten massive amounts of cereal. I
saw that.
We've gotten massive amounts of cereal coming in. And, one time we had a program we didn't push it enough, so I didn't think it wasn't that successful, but the point was right. We called it 251. And what we said is for $2.51 once a month, we're going to ask you to buy one meal for one homeless person once a month. That's your thing. And we'll find 22,000 other people to join in. And if we can do that, we can feed the entire homeless population in Lincoln for you just for the price of a cup of coffee once a month. And, we got to about 6,000 or 7,000 people, but we didn't promote it. And then food started to change. So 251 was really not true. But
yeah.
The point of the program is it doesn't take people giving a lot to solve poverty. It just takes a lot of people giving a little bit. The public has massive amounts of stuff, time, money, volunteering.
Yeah.
And if we all just did a little bit, we can make a profound difference. The problem is a lot of people don't give. In fact, my guess is half of Lincoln doesn't give at all. And people don't realize that their gift, even if it's small, can make a difference. The mission, for instance, and we can share a little bit more about our finances, but we raise about $20 million a year and spend it, on homelessness. The average donation is only $400.
And Tom, what's the best way for people to contact the mission? Is can you give the website?
Yeah, our website is pcmlincoln.org.
Now, I took a look at that website last night. It's a tremendous website. It shows the history of the mission. It gives all the services that are available. What caught my eye, do you still do the red box?
You mean toss boxes?
Excuse me. Thank you. I couldn't remember it.
Sure.
Toss
Yeah,
box.
we have toss boxes all over the city.
I would strongly suggest this for any of the businesses. One way it caught my eye was the toss box. Can you share that?
Sure. That's an entrepreneurial kind of venture we did. Back when I started the mission in 2004, we had a thrift store, and most nonprofits have thrift stores. They use them, and it's been kind of a steady thing. What bothered me about the thrift store really was more philanthropic, the motivation. We were selling the good stuff. We were giving the bad stuff away to people in need. And so I asked, well, what if we could sell the bad stuff and give the good stuff away? And we stumbled just accidentally really into this world of recycling. And what we found out is all over the United States, you have for-profit businesses running these donation boxes out, and they'll find a charity and they'll give them 5 cents on the dollar. There were March of Dimes boxes, but the city sued them. They lost the lawsuit. Those changed to the zoo boxes. But no matter what it is, what these for-profits do is they give the charity 5 cents on the dollar, which the charity's excited for, just putting their name on it. They're making a lot of money, but you, rather than your clothes, are being taken to the cleaners. Because if I leave here right now, and Mike, you look extremely wealthy looking at that Rolex watch you have on your thing.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh.
But
trust me, it's not Rolex.
Yeah. But if you gave me $100 and I used $5 to help the homeless and $95 for administration, I'm betting you wouldn't give me another $100. But when you throw clothes in those boxes, that's exactly what you're doing. You're basically giving it all away to a for-profit business. And in the meantime, the people running thrift stores don't make a lot of money. The problem with the thrift stores, you don't have the volume. So if I'm Walmart, low prices and high volume works really well. Low prices and low volume doesn't have the same impact. And thrift stores don't have the volume to make a lot of money at it. And so you have nonprofits not making a lot of money trying to sell clothes to fund themselves. And you have for-profits making a fortune at recycling. So we thought, well, here's what we'll do. We'll shut down our thrift store. We're making about $150,000, maybe $20,000 in profits, and helping a couple thousand people out the back door with junk. So we shut it down. We started sorting and putting all the best stuff out for people in need. We got a little facility, recycling what they didn't take. Well, last year we made over $1 million, almost $1.5 million recycling. We made about $200,000 in profits, and now we're seeing 27,000 unduplicated people at our help center. Because not only did we give away really good clothing, we give away pots, pans, furniture, everything else people want. And again, I think the numbers are climbing to 28,000 unique individuals. They're not homeless, but they're just people struggling. And we're funding that through recycling. Now we've opened up operations in Kearney. And believe it or not, we just started a business in Africa in which we are going to sell ourselves, our own company in Africa. And by doing that, we think we can increase our revenue to maybe 30% of our funding will come from recycling in the next 3 to 5 years, because as we grow, we can't fund the mission through just donations. Only 0.5% of our money comes from grants, or it's the city or anything else. And so it's virtually nothing. And as we keep growing and build this new building, we can't get there through just donations. And so therefore we are going to focus on recycling and try to create 20 or 30% of our revenue stream that way.
That's just amazing. We got to take another break, and we'll be back with Tom Barber. We'll talk a little bit more about this great business venture in City Mission. We'll be right back.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call at 402-590-5800.
Mulberry Barbecue now has a brand new second location to help all your lunch and dinner cravings. Stop by their newest location at 6125 Apples Way near Lowe's off of Highway 2. They have everything from smoked turkey sandwiches to brisket burritos to burn-in sandwiches and pulled pork. Try a dinner plate option of barbecue nachos, a half-smoked chicken, a full slab of ribs, and so much more. Mulberry Barbecue open Monday to Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. at 11th and Cornhusker Highway and now at 6125 Apples Way in South Lincoln.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Why are some people more successful? Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships. One with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading fraternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America. Touching lives, securing futures.
Well, it's the middle of winter, the holidays are over, and the weather is unpredictable. Isn't there anything to look forward to? You bet there is! Cash Blast from your Nebraska Lottery is back. Until April 1st, buy a 2x2 ticket and enter the voucher number online for a chance to win one of 7 weekly drawings for $5,000 or $500. And if your voucher is from a 7-day draw ticket, your prize is doubled. Hey, there's nothing like a little green to cure the winter blues. 2x2 top prize odds, 1 in 105,000.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Greens at 402-467-4444 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-467-4444.
It takes hard work to make Nebraska the right place to raise a family, build a business, or grow a community. We're counting on working parents to make it happen, and they're counting on childcare professionals to have their backs. Employers and other contributors can earn up to a $100,000 tax credit for strengthening childcare in our communities and state. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Back to What's Next 24 from the 93.7 The Ticket studio with the authors of Next 24, Michael Worrell and Sherry Tills.
All right, welcome back in. What's Next 24? Don't got a ton of time here left, so we'll just throw it right over to the host, Mike and Sherry.
Well, thank you again. We're back here with Tom Barber, CEO of the People's City Mission. I just want to call out to all the businesses and community within Lincoln. You may not know this, but the City Mission does not take grants. They do not. But they said they really need your help to step up. And like Tom was telling me off the air, Cornhusker Bank, congratulations to them for their help with giving the shoes program. Tom's got a tremendous business entrepreneur spirit where he talks about marketing and going to the public. So we really need a call to action to help the City Mission in their need. Tom, is there any other comment regarding that business plan?
No, just, like I said, if everyone does a little bit, they can change a lot. That includes organizations, people. And if I can others say, just be very specific in what you do, it'll be a lot more rewarding.
Yeah, well, I sure love it on your website too. You put on a lot of events. You participate yourself in the mission in city events,
right?
And that's tremendous. You're not separate from the city. You're part of the city.
Yeah.
Sherry, you've got a few quick questions you want to talk to Tom about.
Just a couple, just things I just want to say that have just really been on my heart. It's no matter what you believe, no matter what church you go to, no matter what your denomination is, it doesn't really matter. This is something that pertains to basically all of humankind, so to speak.
Right.
It's, if you read the Bible, it's right in there. If you clothe the naked, if you feed the hungry, if you help the poor, you're doing it. You're not just doing it for you, you're doing it for them, and you're also doing it for whatever you believe in. I personally believe in God. And I'm just going to say it. I might get in trouble, but I believe in what the Bible says.
You're not in trouble with me.
Yeah, thank you. And, but, I think about how you got started on this and the nudging that God was giving you and how you fought it. And I get it because I've done that.
Yeah.
But there's also something that says, perhaps, and this goes out to everybody listening, perhaps you were created for such a time as this. If that means you skip a coffee during the week and you give it to the People's City Mission, or you see somebody panhandling, whether you believe they should be doing it or not, give them, if you have $1, give it to them. What's it going to hurt you? You're not going to be out anything. And, we have all of these people that go out on mission trips to other countries and stuff. We have such a big mission field here in the United States in our own communities. And this is exactly what you're doing. You're not just running the city mission, you're running a mission field.
Yeah.
And you don't know you don't know the impact that you could have in somebody's life by volunteering, by giving, by donating, not just things, but your time too. Because I'm sure that you have times at the People's City Mission where you don't have enough volunteers. And to run this kind of a facility takes time, money, and so many things.
Yeah, it does. It was really funny. We had, I told some doctors one time, they went to Mexico. You talk about going to other places. And I said, you can come to the mission. I'll speak Spanish to you. I'll serve you Spanish food and I'll drive you around a big yellow bus for 3 hours to get the feeling. I mean, you can do it right here in Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can. Tom, we've only got about 1 minute. I want to make sure that we give you time. We want to give you the microphone and you can speak to the community and share anything you'd like to say.
Well, I just like to thank you guys for letting me come on it and for being, have this show and what you're doing for the community and bringing various people in so folks can kind of hear what's going on. And, as regarding the mission, if I could say anything to people, it's just that, homelessness is never going to go away. But if I can convince anybody of anything, it's that it's a very diverse issue. It's not just one thing. It's not just a transient guy or an alcoholic. At the mission, probably half my people have jobs. At least 70% or more have no chemical addictions. They're homeless for all sorts of reasons. And anybody can fall into some problem at some point and need help. And so, reaching out and helping is just something that's good. And it doesn't necessarily take you giving a lot of money. You can come volunteer, as you said, or you can look in your closet. How many of us have shoes or things that we're not going to wear? Maybe after Christmas, we have a couple coats and one of them we're not using. All kinds of way to help people that are struggling. And we can all do something. And if we got Lincoln, if we got the vast majority of Lincoln giving something, you wouldn't eradicate poverty, but you would certainly lessen the pain of it across the board for very, very many people. And it just feels good. Giving is actually a wonderful way to find meaning and purpose in your life, which is something we all need to have.
Absolutely.
And if you want to get it, then I would advise you to pick a cause that you really believe in. It might be homeless, it might be another cause, but find that and get involved. Don't just make it a simple transaction where you give $1 like you do panhandling and then walk away. But try to get involved. Try to be part of the story. And if you do that, you'll benefit as much as resources you give. But a lot to do. And again, just thanks everybody here that's listening. God bless you guys for letting me come on.
Well, Tom, thank you again. Sherry, go ahead. We're running out of time.
Really quick, I just want to say to you personally,
yeah,
I know that when it's your time and you go, the first thing you're going to hear when you get to heaven, well done, good and faithful servant.
Well, thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Tom. You're a leader in the community, and we're so privileged to have you in this community. With that being said, thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.